for Round Boxing in association with BWTN Sports. Check out our latest videos on Round for Round Boxing on our channel. BWTN Sports playlist Round for Round Boxing in association with BWTN Sports. www.roundforroundboxing.com. Okay, this is what we're here to talk about. Dereck Chisora and Dillian Whyte. Before I continue, and as people are coming into the room still, I was going to go to bed, but I have been inspired to get up and do this video now before I go to bed. So good evening or good morning to everybody around the world. So some good news for BWTM supporters and fans from around the world. The BWTM Cup of Success has arrived. Yes, the BWTM Cup of Success has arrived. And good news is that now this cup is available for sale. Now, if you click the link in the description box, the BWTM Cup of Success is for sale. You can get this cup in different colors, from black to pink to red to green to yellow to purple to black, all different colors. So the BWTM Cup, and we've also done it a discounted price now for all, reduced price for our supporters out there. So have a drink on us or with us before the end of 2018. Get yourself a cup. And if you get yourself a cup and you get a picture with yourself and the cup, we will put you on the channel. So there you go, the BWTM Cup of Success. Check it out. Again, the information is in the description box. And to those people who have already bought a cup, thank you so much. Cup sales have been going real crazy at the moment. But thank you. Really appreciate the support we're having and the cups that are on sale at the moment. So thank you so much. Okay, so back. Dillian Whyte. Oh, for those of you who said FIFA 19, played it already. So, yeah, it's been done already. All right, so let's talk about this fight, Dereck Chisora versus Dillian Whyte. First and foremost, before I go any further about this, I told you this fight is on the road to nowhere. The road to nowhere. Yeah, it's a rematch. Nobody's guaranteeing this is going to be a better fight the second time round or a good fight the second time round. You just hope, because the first fight was a good fight, that the second fight will be a better fight. Okay, fine. But the winner, did it get AJ? I don't know. I don't think so. I think probably Jerome Miller will probably get a better chance of getting a fight against AJ than Dillian Whyte does, or Dereck Chisora. More than likely, Dillian Whyte will, if he wins the fight, will end up fighting someone like Dominic Brazil, and they'll keep putting him down the rabbit hole. I don't see Dillian Whyte fighting Joshua anytime soon. And it's probably in the best interest of Anthony Joshua that Dereck Chisora does beat the crap out of him. See, this fight here is a sort of fight that in the game, it's a sort of fight that it's going to take something out of both fighters. Well, you would hope, you know, let them beat the crap out of one another, and then afterwards I'll take whatever's left of them afterwards. So with this fight of Dereck Chisora and Dillian Whyte, gloves are off it's very telling. It's particularly Dillian Whyte. The last two Dillian Whyte fights I've seen, and it's particularly the Joseph Parker fight, when I looked at the gloves are off, I could have told you there and then that Dillian Whyte was a surefire to win, because Joseph Parker had made statements that he was set for life. So I knew he didn't have the hunger. Now, coming into this fight, now you watch the first fight between Dereck Chisora and Dillian Whyte. Yeah, I would agree if people say that Dereck Chisora beat Dillian Whyte. I would agree, because I thought he beat him by at least a round or two. But that was then, and that was a Dillian Whyte who was pretty much, I would say, inexperienced, didn't know if he could do 12 rounds, and still recovering with that shoulder injury. Since the Chisora fight, Dillian Whyte has gone on and fought better opposition and won. Dereck Chisora since has done Dereck Chisora is a strange one. I remember following Dereck Chisora when I first got into the industry, media industry, back in 2012. Back in those days, I met Dereck Chisora. Those who haven't heard the story, I met Dereck Chisora. I actually had dinner with Dereck Chisora in Nando's with him and his missus, my wife, and him. We all sat down and had a nice Nando's together. And he told me that he didn't watch boxing and he didn't watch other fighters in boxing that much. So he didn't know most guys in the division. That was before he fought for Tyler Klitschko. And at that time, I was pretty close to Don Charles in the gym as well. So I'd see Dereck training all the time. I watched Dereck prepare for the rematch with himself and Tyson Fury. I watched him get injured. So I've watched Dereck Chisora over a period of time. And it's surprising because Don Charles, with David Haye, Don Charles made it quite clear that he had reservations about David Haye. David Haye, remember, this is the same David Haye that hit him with a left hook or right hand and knocked his tooth out. And I remember in an interview I did with Don Charles saying that, you know, he was going to take legal action against David Haye. I don't see how suddenly all that has kind of molded or all sorted itself out. Hey, money's a funny thing. Money does make people do funny things. But the one thing is sure about Dereck Chisora. Dereck Chisora can be training brilliantly, right? He can be training brilliantly in camp. Everything can go well. And all Dereck Chisora has to do is wake up in the morning on the wrong side of the bed. And you've got a Dereck Chisora that can't be bothered. Dereck Chisora is very erratic as a fighter. And Dereck Chisora, for me, I don't care what shape he gets himself into. You know, yeah, he's got David Haye in his corner, but here's things. Check this out. At the end of the gloves are off, the little snippet at the end, this is key. No David Haye in sight. And Dereck Chisora and Dillian Whyte says, listen, you should do the bit for Sky. And Dereck doesn't do what's required of him. Now, Dereck is his own man and will do his own thing. That is Dereck Chisora. And if you're going to talk to me about game plans between Dillian Whyte and Dereck Chisora and who'll stick to a game plan, you're going to go Dillian Whyte every time and not Dereck Chisora. Dillian Whyte has impressed me because here's a guy. If you remember how Dillian Whyte started his career and was promoting himself, he was the bad guy and he was the guy that a lot of people didn't like in British boxing. And Dillian Whyte has changed he's become more businesslike, become more professional. More importantly, he's honed in his craft and become a much improved boxer puncher. He really has. And a lot of people, you know, give Dillian Whyte a lot of a flack because he didn't fight Luis Ortiz. Hey, I'm not going to give him that flack because he's doing what's best for him. And a fight against him and Chisora brings in way much more money than him against Luis Ortiz because the British fans know who Dereck Chisora is. And most of the casuals won't know who Luis Ortiz is. For hardcore boxing fans, they'll say something different. But sadly, most hardcore boxing fans won't be turning up to watch Dereck Chisora and Dillian Whyte fight. It is just one of those things, sadly. Dillian Whyte has improved tremendously. There are some things Dillian Whyte still does which I don't understand. He throws a right hand sometimes. That he throws the right hand, almost spins 360 when he throws the right hand. Sometimes off balance. His left hook, he always had a good left hook on him, Dillian Whyte. And that left hook showed the power in that left hook when he dropped Joseph Parker. A left hook that I saw coming before Dillian Whyte even got in the ring. Now, going back to the Dereck Chisora fight, and I've got something special for you, the BWTM fans. This week, we will have a cornerman, assistant trainer for Dereck Chisora, who will be live on BWTM either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. Probably Wednesday evening, we'll have him in the room talking about Dereck Chisora. Now, I know him very well. He's been on the channel before. His name's Xavier Miller. So shout out to Xavier if you're listening. I know we've already had a talk privately about my thoughts about the fight. The one thing about Dereck Chisora is you can't put your money on Dereck Chisora because you never know what Dereck Chisora is going to come out in the bag. You really don't know. And Xavier revealed to me that in the Takam fight, they expected Takam to come out fast. And they said the game plan with Takam was to pick the shots, pick the shots, pick the shots. And I said to Xavier, you know what, Xavier? That overhand right that Dereck Chisora landed on Takam was meant to have landed in 2012. If you go back and look at the David Haye fight, Dereck Chisora got knocked out trying to throw that overhand right. Okay, and he didn't throw it properly, and he left himself open and got knocked out by a lovely David Haye changed his stance and hit him with a tremendous left hand to knock Dereck Chisora down and more so knock him out. Walked him onto it. Tremendous shot. I don't know how Dereck Chisora got up. It was on my birthday. It happened as well. I still can't believe how Dereck got up from that shot. It was a tremendous shot. But that right hand he's been wanting to throw for years. He's landed it on certain guys. Kevin Johnson, when it lands cleanly and well, it causes problems. Kevin Johnson felt it and got dropped by Chisora. So he's got some power there. And that is Dereck Chisora's best punch. But let's be honest. Dereck Chisora was taking a beating in there against Takam. Takam ran out of gas. And Dereck Chisora nailed him and knocked him out. The question I ask is, how much has Dereck Chisora actually got left? How much has he got left? And how much does he actually want it? And all this talk about David Haye and the new Dereck Chisora. Listen, a leopard don't change his spots. This same old Dereck Chisora repainted. That's all it is for me. Same old Derek, same old Del Boy. Yeah, he's brought Brian Jennings into sparring, and that's fine and good. But if Dereck Chisora was going to beat Dillian Whyte, he should have had the rematch straight away. Dillian Whyte has since gone on and has really now become an experienced fighter. So things he wouldn't do, he knows he can do 12 rounds now. Okay, he knows he can do 12 rounds against Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker is a better fighter than Dereck Chisora, personally. I think Lucas Browne hits harder than Dereck Chisora. And Dereck Chisora's not consistent. So I expect in this fight that Dillian Whyte is not only going to beat Dereck Chisora, I think he stops him. And I actually think that it's going to be an easier fight for Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte knows what to expect. And every time, when you go into a first fight, you don't know what to expect. And for Dillian Whyte, you're going into a fight not knowing what to expect and not knowing if he could do the 12 rounds. When Dereck Chisora was pushed in the fight, if you look in the fight, when he was pushed in the fight, there were times that he had to stop, literally back out of an attack because he was tired. I'm sure he'll be in much better condition this time round. I've seen Dereck Chisora fiddle with weights. I've seen him move up in weight. I've seen him go down in weight. I saw the lean Dereck Chisora. I've seen the overweight Dereck Chisora. I've seen the motivated Dereck Chisora. I've seen the unmotivated Dereck Chisora. Dereck Chisora, as I said before, all it takes is for Dereck Chisora to get up the bed, the wrong side of the bed, or, you know, just go in the toilet and the pee not landing in the toilet bowl right, and Dereck Chisora could switch just like that. He could switch mid-fight. What the hell is David Haye going to bring that Don Charles can't already bring? And if David Haye was so great, why didn't David Haye step in and tell Dereck? I didn't hear any time David say to Dereck, hey, listen, you got nothing to do with Sky. So I don't know what David is giving to Dereck. I don't know if Dereck is even listening. I really don't. I remember Dereck turning around and saying at one point he's not interested in world titles. He's just interested in making money. Dillian Whyte is very different. Dillian Whyte actually wants to become heavyweight champion of the world. And there's a big difference. A very, very big difference. Dereck Chisora, I think, is at the end of his career or coming to the end of his career. And Dillian Whyte is blossoming into the best run of his career. For Dillian Whyte, it's quite simple. Avoid the overhand right. That's the one punch that Dereck Chisora's got in his arsenal that could knock Dillian Whyte out. The overhand right. Other than that, stick your jab in his face, and you're going to be I believe you'll be the fitter guy in there. You've been consistent. You see, Dillian Whyte's been consistent. He's been consistent, and he's been winning, and he's been winning, and he's been winning. Dereck Chisora, if he wins or he loses, he can always come back. That's the mentality. You can always come back. You can always come back. So you can do a lot of talking, Dereck Chisora, and if the tickets aren't selling, tables will go flying again and all the rest of it. But it's a tied act for me now. And I go Dillian Whyte big in this fight. I look for Dillian Whyte to show what happens when you dedicate the sport, in the sport for the right reasons, and you listen to your trainer and you apply yourself and you put the hard work in. I'm always skeptical with fighters that suddenly want to start putting it all together when their mentality is pretty erratic. It's not about, if Dereck Chisora had come into this fight and brought in a sports psychologist, and maybe I looked at the fight a little differently. But even then, I would have turned around and said, how much has this guy got left? How much has this guy really got left? But it's the same old Dereck who might train a bit harder. And that's it, really. I mean, there was nothing in attack and fight that made me think Dereck Chisora is a most improved fighter. No, it was same old Dereck. And the difference is Dillian Whyte hits harder than Takam. And Dillian Whyte will be in better shape than Takam. And if Dillian Whyte hurts Dereck and get him out of there, that's the difference. So for me, I'm going with Dillian Whyte by KO over Dereck Chisora. Yes, Dillian Whyte is at the level I think he's at now. I think boxing's about timing, and it's the right time for Dillian Whyte to fight Dereck Chisora. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on the fight. So let me just go up very quickly and go through the people in the room and their comments, and then we'll get going. Let's go, champ. The War of the Donkeys, quite possibly. The fight should be known as the mashup. The fight should be known as the Road to Nowhere. Bless Ingram, bless Razor. Thanks again, Ingram, for giving us another live show. I will do a couple of tonight. I'm going to do a couple of shows tonight. So you make your requests and I'll do them. And people. White points. Adam Scott, I could see the points thing there. It's point decision. Let's hope Chisora isn't going to give us shades of Rocky. No, he won't, because he's not as naive as Rookie Fielding. Excellent smash up 2. Sounds like one of them happy hardcore nights. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. Hit me up with a BWTM hoodie or BWTM clothing. Yeah, we're working on that. Everyone hit the like and super chat Ingram a $5. Yeah, that would be nice. Super chat me a $5. That'd be nice. Chisora looks to be in the best shape of his life. I've heard that before. Come on. How many times have you heard Dereck Chisora's in the best shape of his life? What if you can't get yourself in the best shape of your life for the heavyweight championship of the world? If you can't get yourself in the best shape of your life to fight David Haye, if you can't get yourself in the best shape of your life to fight Kubrat Pulev, why the hell are you going to get yourself in the best shape of your life to fight Dillian Whyte? He's not in the best shape of his life. That's just PR stuff. He's just in good shape. He's not in the best shape of his career. How can he be in the best shape of his career now? The guy's on the decline. Dereck Chisora is not in the best shape of his career. No chance. I rewatched the first one the other day. I still think it was an even fight, and it's a legit grounds for a rematch. Gloves off, boring as hell, no drama at all. Yep. 2 businessmen getting their pound note. That's all it is. No bad blood. I agree with you there, Kenny. What? Says Shane. White's best win over Dereck was Parker, and Parker has a lot to learn. Yep. Parker cleaned up Flores the other day. Yeah, 100%. I got White. He won't go 12. Alexander the Great Flores. Chisora is just a miserable man. He couldn't be bothered to look down the camera, and White was trying to sell himself. Chisora just walks out, and that's it. Chisora will walk out of this fight as well, quite literally. He will check out. He always checks out, and that's another sign of Chisora's erratic behavior. Parker by low blows. He couldn't be bothered. AJ defeat was the best thing that happened to White. I agree. Although I did tell people that fight shouldn't have happened. White's issues is balance. I agree there. Chisora's in good shape. Shape doesn't win you fights. No. When I mean that shape don't win you fights, I mean, yeah, you can be in good shape. It's like when people said Rocky Fielding's tall and longer. Yeah, that's all well and good being tall and long or being in shape. Because you're in shape, that don't mean you're gonna win a fight. That means that you possibly could go the distance. If you're in shape and you can fight and you've got the boxing ability, that is a total package. That's a different conversation. You say Dereck Chisora's in shape, which tells me that Dereck Chisora normally isn't in shape. So that's not a good sign. Anytime somebody has a boxing conversation with me and they come up and say to me, he's in shape. Well, he's meant to be in shape as a professional fighter. So that's not a conversation. I'm not having a dig here. I just don't get the logic. You're a professional fighter. As a professional footballer, I don't hear anybody saying, oh, he's fit playing football. If he's injured, he's injured. Or he's half fit, you can see when he's playing football. But generally, footballers are fit. Tennis players are fit. Basketball players are fit. Don't say, oh, but he's fit. It just seems in boxing, these rules, these substandard rules. Dereck Chisora being in shape, that's neither here nor there for me. Dereck is up Mill Hill training like a beast. Yeah, sure he is. Ortiz beats up White. Really? Well, okay. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. And if White beats him, you're going to tell it. If White beats up Ortiz, you're going to tell me he's an old man and Wilder knocked him out. So, I don't know. I think Dereck comes in lively, to be honest. Yeah, he might come in lively and go out knocked out. Finishing against Brixton, that's why AJ wants Chisora to win. He looked up to him when he was growing up. No, he wants Chisora to win because it's an easier fight, because he knows White will give him a tough fight. And an in-shape White who can box and is a more experienced fighter gives him more travel than a straight come-forward fighter in Dereck Chisora, who is pretty shop warm. Del boy, LOL. Brixton all day, baby. North London runs things. We all know this. I thought the South London run things. Well, I'm not sure. Brixton is a shadow of what it was back in the 80s and 90s. I totally agree with you there, brother. Dillian Whyte is probably my favourite boxer for his style. I mean, Kenny, behave yourself. South London is king. Brixton is like Shoreditch nowadays. It is. I can remember 90s Brixton, Kenny. Been climbing up there a few times, late 90s. Brixton, 90s is the best, and early 2000 when the real gunmen were around. I'm from Brum. I'm just saying what I hear. James, what clubs? Obviously, the Fridge would have been a big club in Brixton at the time. South London doing what it needs to do these days. Big up man like Ray and Jimmy Bish. Judges want to score the fight for White. Of course they do. We degree. You in that burger gang in Brum, LOL. Burger and Johnson's, LOL. Tottenham Edmonton run things, you know where it's all at. What happened to Hackney? Down off topic in comment section, LOL. Carl Froch, David A, let guess how many 10-10 rounds they come with on commentary. Froch needs to be locked in a cupboard along with Adam Smith. Boxing, true boxing. I'm beginning to wonder if Hatman is on the matchroom payroll. With no midriff. No, he isn't, says we agree. Just opinion. Not me. I'd love to see White Ortiz fight. When they score 10-10 rounds, you never see them on professional judge cards. The final cards are all over the place. It's LOL. It's LOL. Right, so yeah, that's my final thoughts on White versus Chisora. Anybody got any other thoughts on this? When I come back, I'm probably going to talk either about Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner or Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence Jr. Any requests before I go on? I heard also that David Price and Tom Little. I'll talk about that as well. Chisora shot. I agree with you there. He is shot. Right. So when I come back, let's talk David Price and Tom Little. Frampton Warrington, same day. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Can you talk about Amir Khan's comments regarding Kell Brook? Yes, we can talk about that. AJ scrapping Wembley date in April for a fight in the States with Miller. Yep, can see that happening. Frampton. Yep, we'll talk Frampton. Warrington. Yep, we'll do that as well. All right. Frampton, Warrington, Khan, big price. Yep, we'll do all those things. All right. Back in a moment. Stay locked in. Stay locked on. Once again, don't forget, get yourself a cup. BWTM Cup of Success, out now. Click on the description box down below or in the description box and you click and get yourself a BWTM Cup of Success. See you soon.